New York City Mayor and self-described Democrat Socialist Zohran Mamdani meeting with JPMorgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon and Goldman Sachs CEO David Solomon yesterday. I'd like to be a fly on the wall for that one. City Hall says, quote, they discussed the importance of rooting out waste in government, cutting red tape through SEQRA reform, and how the public and private sectors can collaborate to deliver both excellent public goods and a thriving city where all New Yorkers can succeed. JP Morgan stating, quote, they had a constructive meeting where they discussed the importance of companies and government working together to help the communities around us and make the city more competitive. Meanwhile, the Wall Street Journal says Mamdani and Solomon's meeting focused more on affordable housing, small business, and retaining top city talent. Let's get into it now with the chairman and CEO of both United Refining Company and the Red Apple Group, John Catsimatidis, back with us. John, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. What do you make of that meeting? More wealthy New Yorkers fleeing the city. I don't know if that came up in the meeting, but they say it was constructive.
It was constructive, I'm sure. But as any CEO of a large company in New York City, the first thing you think about is your company. And the thing that I think about is reducing exposure. Because if this is what New York is in there for the next 3-4 years, reducing exposure in New York, and that's what we're doing. We're concentrating on Florida right now. We're moving a lot of assets there, and we love New York. We all love New York, so we're not going to say we abandon New York.
Yeah.
But reducing exposure for any CEO is the smart thing to do.
Well, I mean, I think it was really smart of Jamie to meet with Mamdani, because let's not forget, Jamie just built 270 Park Avenue, right? I mean, this is the Midtown Manhattan building that cost between $3 and $4 billion. And even though Jamie put all that money into this new building, and it's apparently gorgeous, okay, a lot of people telling me how wonderful it is. But even though he put that big bill, he's got more employees in Dallas, Texas than he does in New York City.
Absolutely, and we're gonna go that direction too. At one point last year, we were looking at, before the New Jersey elections, we were looking at increasing our exposure in New Jersey. But we're being careful of that right now. We are going to move some assets to New Jersey, but majority is moving assets to Florida.
Well, look, we talk about this all the time, sort of in a 30,000 feet way. I mean, when you get down to the bottom line, what does it mean to a guy like you, a business like yours, in terms of all these taxes? And Mamdani's threatening, you know, billionaires tax and an exit tax and potentially raising property taxes. What's the cost on the bottom line, do you think? I mean, when you start studying this stuff, what can you actually eliminate if you get out of Dodge?
Well, first of all, you know, I'm over 75, and the taxes on estate taxes. You want my kids to write me off? I mean, at one point, I'd rather have my family and my kids and
so that's
have the
most
money
important to you, the estate tax
and
the property tax increases that he's talking about.
Yes, and the other taxes is I think it limits. It limits the amount of investments that come into New York, which New York is the capitalist capital of the world. Yeah. We don't want to make it the socialist capital of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like I was reading Sergey Brin, it's going to cost like $14 billion for somebody like him in California with this billionaire's tax. I'm just trying to get like a bottom line understanding of what the dollars and cents are actually, because there's a reason people are just actually uplifting their families and their businesses and going to Miami. The mayor also announced the second location for his city-run grocery stores. And you're a grocery store owner. I mean, this is going to be in the Bronx and Hunts Point neighborhood. The 20,000 square feet location is set to open next year. John, the mayor, is facing criticism, obviously, for taking a quote made famous by President Ronald Reagan and spinning it to his governmental advantage. Here it is, watch.
This store and the peninsula as a whole will serve as physical proof of our conviction that government can be a force for good, that government can drive change that improves people's lives. I cannot help but think of the words of our 40th president, Ronald Reagan. He famously said, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. It's a good quote, but I disagree. I think 9 more terrifying words are actually, I worked all day and can't feed my family. We are going to use the power of government to lower prices and make it easier for New Yorkers to put food on the table. It's not just that government can help, it's that government must help, and our government will help.
So what do you think about that, John?
I think it's a game. The amount of difference that he's going to make is very, very little. And if he's opening up in areas where there's no supermarkets or no food stores, I can understand that. He's helping that particular area. But overall, it has zero effect except playing the music to the people that he wants him to be supported by.
Yeah, and what about these grocery stores? I mean, I was thinking the other day, once you know that you go into a store and everything's free, isn't everything going to be gone? I mean, are they going to be able to stock it up?
I don't think it's going to be free. I think he's playing the game. He has said he'll have eggs cheaper, he'll have bread cheaper. And look, the supermarket wars have been going on for 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, I have cheaper milk, I have cheaper bread.
Yeah.
And it's just a game being played, and the violins being played to his supporters.
Would you move grocery stores as well out of New York?
Well, you know, I don't believe, you know, most of our stores are in New York City, in Manhattan, and the competition, is that the competition?
Would you go that far? Would you go that far?
I would, I think our stores is in the right hands could be very successful again. I haven't run them, Maria, I haven't run these stores in 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
If I was running them, you know, it'd be different.
But I mean, your company owns the stores, and you know, you would think that Mamdani calls you to say, "Hey, here's my idea on grocery stores." Have you met with Mamdani?
Yes, we have met with Mamdani. We met with his deputy mayor, Julie Su, and I've offered my services. I said, "There's nobody knows the food business better than I do."
What did they say? Did they blow you off, or
they've offered. They want to talk to me. They want to.
Okay. All right, that's good.
So they're playing. You know, look, I'm available.
Yeah.
I love New York. I'm available. I want to do the right thing for New York.
Well, you know, a friend of mine was telling me that there's a petition going around for Bruce Blakeman. They want him to be conservative, Republican, and independent. I mean, they want him to have as much exposure on the ballot as possible this November, because if Kathy Hochul goes along with all Mamdani's ideas, the city it's just all like massively to the left, right? I mean, is that going to change?
We have large checks and balances in New York right now. We have Jay Clayton, the U.S. attorney that's been appointed by President Trump. They worry about New York, and they do what they have to do to keep New Yorkers safe, and they take people off the streets. Now, the governor is the other person that's supposed to have the checks and balances in the city. And I think Blakeman has a terrific chance. His chances are increasing. And I think they're going to get down to 50-50 at some point, because the New Yorkers are going to reach the level of where is the common sense? Where is the checks and balances? And I think Bruce Blakeman has a good shot if he plays his cards right and talks a good game. With Kathy Hochul, I've always tried to cooperate with her. I've always talked to her.
Yeah.
But we're worried about her surrendering completely to the Communist Party or the Socialist Party.
And Bruce Blakeman says that's probably what she's going to do. I can't let you go without talking about oil, because oil is now up at 107. President Trump delayed U.S. strikes on Iran. We know that he says that Gulf leaders encouraged him to do so. You run United Refining. What's your take on the price of oil and gas at this point, and what are your expectations?
I think that once there's a peace and the Strait of Hormuz is open, I think you blink your eyes and you're going to see oil and gasoline back to below $3 a gallon. Right now, I understand Putin is on his way to see, and they're stirring the pot. They would rather have checks and balances on Trump. So they would love for the Congress to go Democratic or the Senate to go Democratic. Yeah. But why? Checks and balances on Trump. And the American people out there should realize that Trump is the best thing that ever happened in our country, because he has the courage to stand up against these despots. And I think Xi and Putin are thinking about how they can stir the pot for make Trump's life harder.
Well, it's a great point because it's all about Trump is bad, you know, and you're right. President Trump has put certain policies in place that have not just helped the entire country, but New York as well.
Fraud.
And Kathy Hochul wants to hide behind, you know, Trump is bad to hide some of her bad policy decisions. And Bruce Blakeman brought that up when he was on this. You say Bruce Blakeman has a good shot. Here he is with me just recently on this program. Watch this.
Kathy Hochul's done more U-turns than any cab driver I've ever met. So let's talk about her U-turn on congestion pricing. Before the election, she said she was pausing congestion pricing. The day after the election, we got congestion pricing, which is nothing more than another tax on the middle class just for the privilege to ride on a public road that the taxpayers already paid for. And congestion pricing is going to come to a community near you, whether it's Queens Boulevard or Flatbush Avenue or any other major thoroughfare, because they need to raise money. They have no concept about curbing a budget. New York State's budget is twice the budget of Florida, and we have less of a population. Right. How can you possibly rationally explain that?
Yeah.
It's out of control. I will put a curb on it.
And by the way, Bruce Blakeman will be joining us this week, so stay with us for Bruce Blakeman coming up. What else does he need to do to get out there more? Because I understand his policies. I know he's got a lot of support in Long Island. I don't know where the major support is in New York, but can he actually do something to make his profile bigger here?
I think that he has to get out there. He has to be out there. He has to make every breakfast, every lunch, every dinner count. Yeah. He has to be in every media that he can, not only the center-right, also the center-left media.
That's
he
right.
has to have exposure and talk common sense. And because at the end of the day, we want New York to win. We don't want to lose more people. We don't want to lose more businesses. Manhattan, we're in deep crap. Why? Because of the fact congestion pricing, the cost of bringing product into New York. And you look at congestion pricing, the fact is that it's hurting New York City a great deal.
Well, we're going to talk with Bruce Blakeman tomorrow. He will be my special guest here. Join us tomorrow morning when I speak with Bruce Blakeman about this upcoming election. Katz, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. John Catsimatidis. We'll be right back.